Hey guys, I'm making a video again. Kind of a poor intro, I don't care. Well, I guess you guys do care sometimes. But we're gonna talk about Dragon Ball Z. I made a video earlier, I'm gonna release that later because that discussion is gonna be later on. Well, if you want that video, just comment below this video and say that, I want to see the video, because it's a good discussion about Dragon Ball Z and the new movie Revival of Frieza. Well, I think about it. If I tell you guys right now, that means it's gonna mess up the whole thing. But anyways, let me just get into the subject that we're gonna do right now. Who is stronger, Vegito or Gogeta? Now, sorry, I just want to watch a video right now because I'm bored as hell and I gotta run. And this is the only shirt I have that I can run in. Yep, I also have a jacket too. And if you guys are new to this video, new to my channel, I just want to say welcome, because I have been a big Dragon Ball Z fan ever since I was a little kid. I've always been watching it, and I'm inspired by it sometimes to write my own anime. But instead, I write horror novels. I write horror stories, somewhat like that. Sorry, I just want to watch a video while I do this. But anyway, let's begin. Who is stronger, Vegito or Gogeta? Vegito or Gogeta? For me, in my opinion, I don't know which one's stronger. But I think Gogeta is the strongest one of them all. I mean, Vegito, don't get me wrong, he's freaking badass. Sorry for my language, but Vegito is one of the characters that we never saw. Actually, we saw him first, but he's a character that we just love, and he was the first fusion character. I think he was the first fusion. Well, yeah, actually he was the first fusion, so Vegito is stronger, but people say he's stronger because about how his power level and all that, how he toys with Super Buu. But that's the only time we ever see him. I mean, if you think about it, Vegito had to go Super Saiyan to defeat Super Buu, because in the non-Super Saiyan form, he was able to kick his ass, but in the end, he had to go to his Super Saiyan 1 form. Because basically he was kind of a little bit, no, actually he wasn't weak, it was just that he was toying with him and he had enough of toying with him, but he started fucking him up and all that. But for Gogeta has to be the strongest because of how much power it takes, and there's actually a time limit set for the fusion. If you do fusion during Super Saiyan 1, it's actually a longer, like an hour kind of thing. Then when you go Super Saiyan like 2 or 3, when you go Super Saiyan 3, I actually never see them go Super Saiyan 3, but in the end, when they go Super Saiyan and they can freeze together, but they don't have to be Super Saiyan, they probably just turn Super Saiyan afterwards. But after that, they're like freaking strong. Like if you've seen Fusion Reborn, and you would know what I'm talking about. He freaking blows out that motherfucker. That motherfucker was stronger than Majin Buu. Because you heard what Goku said. I haven't been pushed to this form before since Majin Buu, and that was Super Saiyan 3. And when he went Super Saiyan 3, he basically tried whipping his ass, but he was not even close because Dragonball was actually stronger, and Vegeta came out of nowhere and helped him, but in the end they had to do fusion to do that. And when they did fusion, you saw how much Gogeta was introduced, and that power level just took 2 minutes actually to finish Dragonball off, because that power was so freaking surged into like awesomeness that you saw how much Gogeta did without even touching him in the first part. You see an introduction of him, the next thing you know, he's like, you have enough time with Dragonball, I'm coming for you. And after that, you just see him staring at him, Dragonball powers up, and then Gogeta looks at him, After that, they start seeing these freaking weird wind thingies start looking like it's punching him. Next thing you know, they just start punching him, but you don't see his fist going like that. And you see how he kicks his head and how much impact it was, and then how much that kick of the backflip won. And then if you see the Stardust Grenader, that thing was freaking strong as hell, because after he powered it up and threw it at him, he just disintegrated. Like, he just actually disintegrated. But then you might argue that, Goku got stronger later on because of he's been training more often than usual. Then Vegeta too. But actually Vegeta didn't have a body, so how could he train? But he still remembers the things he did when he was fighting Majin Buu. And the other thing about this is that Gogeta is actually stronger than Vegito. But Vegito could absolutely be stronger, but you never see him. You only seen him once. But you see Gogeta twice. The reason why I say twice is because I'm counting Dragon Ball GT into this. If you're not counting Dragon Ball GT into this, well, we're gonna have a problem. But in Dragon Ball GT, you see Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, and you see him at his peak power level, and even for Omega Shenron, he couldn't even freaking tap this motherfucker. He couldn't even freaking make a punch to him. He couldn't even freaking inflict damage to him. He couldn't even freaking do anything to hurt him. He did blast him, but then he's like, "Oh, thanks for the crick of my neck." Disregard that message. But Gogeta is probably the strongest one, because you've seen how much power was in GT. If you want to watch GT, go watch GT, the episode where Gogeta versus Omega Shenron. Because if you see the Big Bang Kamehameha, the Big Bang Kamea Wave, that's what I call it. But the Kamea Wave was actually quite stronger than any other beam that Goku has ever pulled out. Because that thing was fucking strong. I mean, if it blew away Omega Shenron and the fucking Dragon Balls inside of it, that means, fuck man, that could have been strong. That thing could have been strong as hell. And don't get me wrong, I like Vegito, but he's not necessarily probably the strongest, but he's probably just the second best fighter in the universe, next to Super Saiyan God. But probably Super Saiyan God 1 is probably better than Gogeta. For Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, probably about that. But Super Saiyan God is a different story. But Gogeta is actually kind of stronger when you think about it. I mean, and then in the GT, it takes 15 minutes for the power to end because of how much strength that's put into that fusion. And in the Vegito form, the earrings actually help them stay together. But remember, they didn't stay together for the whole length of time. But they were there for probably more than 2 hours. But I'm not gonna make an assumption about that. But the fight between them was actually just 50 minutes above actually. So Gogeta's, in my opinion, I'm saying this because people hate when I have opinions, but it's opinion, so basically can't do anything about it. In my opinion, Gogeta is actually stronger than Vegito because one thing I rely on is that it takes a while for the power to end, and it has a timer. For Vegito, he could probably stay on that forever, but the reason why I say Vegito is because Gogeta is better is because I haven't seen Vegito fight for a second time. You haven't seen him fight for a second time. But if there was ever another episode of Dragon Ball Z where it shows that Vegito, if it shows Vegito, I would love to see that episode, and if it can compare the strength between Gogeta and Vegito. But at the end of the video, I'm just going to say they're completely equal. You might get mad at me, but I can't decide whether one's strong or not. But for me, one side of actually mostly 60% of myself says that it's Gogeta that's stronger because he delivers one-hit blows. He delivered a one-hit blow to Janemba, and when it came to Super Saiyan 4, he was just messing around, and that he was actually absolutely stronger than Mega Shenron ever was because of how much he did. And that's it for this video today, because I'm just going to leave it at that. I want to hear what you think and how you describe it, and maybe you can change my mind about something. But in the end, this is Dragon Ball Z discussion number 2, or number 1. I'm going to call this number 1. I'm going to call it number 1. because of the video. I'm delaying that one because I'm not ready to reveal it yet. Messages. In the end, Dragon Ball Z, Vegito, or Gogeta, just comment down below who you think is better. And if you want to add into some perspective or your perspective of Dragon Ball Z, maybe you can do that, and you can probably change my mind or something like that. But please do so, because I want to hear you guys' comments. I want to hear everyone talking about this subject, because it's a very talkable subject, and I want to hear your guys' opinion. And thank you guys. That's all I have for today. And peace out.